What if the life you're living right now isn't the one you actually want? And deep down, you already know it. Not because it's terrible, not because everything is falling apart, but because it feels smaller than what you imagined, quieter, safer, almost like you're watching your life instead of living it. And the scariest part? You're getting used to it. Think about that. Getting comfortable with something that doesn't excite you. Settling into routines that don't challenge you. Telling yourself, this is fine, when you know it's not. Be honest. Does this feel familiar? Because this is where most people get stuck. Not in failure, but in comfort. And comfort is dangerous, because it doesn't feel like a problem. It feels normal. You wake up. You go through the motions. You distract yourself just enough to not think too deeply. And days turn into weeks, weeks into years, until one day, it hits you. Is this really it? But here's the part nobody tells you. That feeling, that quiet dissatisfaction, it's not something to ignore. It's a signal that your current life is smaller than your potential. But instead of listening to it, most people silence it. They scroll, they binge, they stay busy. Anything to avoid facing the real question, what do I actually want? And even if you ask it, fear shows up immediately. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if I try and nothing happens? So you shrink your dreams. You make them realistic. You make them safe. You tell yourself, I don't need that much. I'm okay with this. But wait till you hear this. You're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of finding out what you're actually capable of. Because once you see it, you can't go back. Now here's where it gets real. The life you want? It requires a version of you that you haven't become yet. And that's uncomfortable, because it means letting go of who you are right now. The habits, the excuses, the identity you've been holding on to. And yeah, that's hard. Because even if your current life isn't perfect, it's familiar. And familiarity feels safe. But this is where things change. Because staying where you are has a cost. A quiet cost. You don't feel it immediately, but over time, it turns into regret. The kind that whispers, you could have done more. I wonder what would have happened if I tried. That life was possible, and I didn't go for it. Let me ask you something. Which is worse? Failing while chasing something bigger, or never trying and always wondering? Don't answer quickly, because that question, that's your future. And this next part changes everything. Dreaming big isn't about being unrealistic. It's about being honest. Honest about what you want. Honest about what excites you. Honest about the life you keep imagining, but never act on. Because here's the truth. Small dreams don't protect you from pain. They just guarantee regret. Let that sink in. Playing safe doesn't mean you win. It just means you never lose. Or win. You stay stuck in the middle. And the middle? That's where most people live their entire lives. Not miserable, but not fulfilled either. Just existing. And maybe that's where you are right now. Not broken, not failing, just not where you want to be. And that realization, that's powerful. Because awareness is the first step. You can't change what you don't see. But now you see it. Now you feel it. That pull toward something bigger. That voice that says, there's more for you. And you can ignore it, or you can listen. So here's a simple question. Are you going to keep shrinking your life, or finally expand into it? Which one are you right now? Playing safe, or ready to risk it? Because that decision, that one moment of honesty, that's where everything begins. And what comes next, that's where the real shift happens. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. Because once you admit you want more, you can't unsee it. That quiet voice doesn't go away. It gets louder. It starts showing up in random moments, when you're alone, when you're scrolling, when you see someone else doing what you wish you had the courage to do. And it whispers, why not you? But instead of answering it, you hesitate. Because now you're standing at a crossroads. Stay where it's safe, or step into something uncertain. And let's be real. Uncertainty is terrifying. No guarantees, no clear path, no instant results. Just you and a decision. And this is the moment most people walk away. Not because they don't want more, but because they don't trust themselves to handle what comes next. I used to think this was about motivation, like maybe I just needed more inspiration, more discipline, more perfect timing. But here's what I realized. It's not about motivation. It's about identity. You don't chase big dreams because you don't see yourself as someone who lives them. You still see yourself as the person who hesitates, who overthinks, who starts and stops. So even when opportunity shows up, you shrink. You tell yourself, I'll do it later. I need to prepare more. I'm not ready yet. Sound familiar? Because this is the hidden trap. You're not waiting for the right moment. You're waiting to feel like a different person. But here's the truth. That person doesn't show up first. You become them by acting like them. Let that hit. You don't wait to feel confident. You act, and confidence follows. You don't wait to feel ready. You move, and readiness builds. And yeah, it feels awkward at first. You'll doubt yourself mid-action. You'll question your decisions. You'll feel like you're faking it. That's normal. Because growth always feels like that in the beginning. But here's the part nobody tells you. The longer you wait, the harder it gets to start. Not because the dream changes, but because your comfort zone gets stronger. It tightens around you, convincing you that staying the same is easier, safer, smarter. So why do we keep doing this even when we know better? Why do we keep choosing comfort over potential? Because comfort gives you instant relief. But dreams? Dreams require delayed reward. And most people aren't trained for that. They want quick wins, fast results, immediate validation. But big dreams? They don't work like that. They demand patience, consistency, and a willingness to look stupid at first. Yeah, nobody talks about that part. Starting something new means you're not good at it. You'll make mistakes. You'll fail in small ways. And your ego? It hates that. So it protects you by keeping you exactly where you are. But this is where things flip. Because what if looking stupid is actually part of the process? What if failure isn't a sign to stop, but proof that you're finally moving? Think about it. Every person you admire, at some point, they were inexperienced, they were unsure, they were figuring it out. The only difference? They didn't stop. And now here's the shift. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask something better. What if this actually works? What if you're closer than you think? What if the only thing between you and that life is consistent action? Not perfection, not talent, just showing up again and again. If this is hitting you, don't ignore it. Because this moment, this is where your story changes. Not when everything is perfect, but right here, in the doubt. Right here, in the uncertainty. This is where you decide to keep thinking about your dreams or start building them. And this next part? This is where most people quit. Not because they can't do it, but because they don't see results fast enough. And if you don't understand this part, you'll fall into the same trap over and over again. But once you see it,
everything changes.
And this is where everything finally clicks. Not in a loud, dramatic moment, not in some overnight transformation, but quietly. You stop chasing motivation, and you start trusting your own discipline. You stop waiting to feel ready, and you start moving anyway. And something shifts. You're not the same person who kept overthinking everything. You're not the same person who needed constant reassurance. Now, you move with intention. Not perfectly, not flawlessly, but consistently. And that's the difference. Because here's the truth most people avoid. Dreaming big isn't the hard part. Living up to it is. It requires you to let go of the version of yourself that plays small, the one who hides behind excuses, the one who waits for the right time, the one who chooses comfort over growth. And yeah, letting go of that version, it feels uncomfortable. Because it's familiar. It's who you've been for a long time. But this is where it gets real. If you don't outgrow that version of yourself, you'll keep outgrowing your own dreams. Read that again, because that's how regret is created. Not in one big moment, but in small decisions. Choosing easy instead of necessary. Choosing now instead of later. Choosing comfort instead of potential. Over and over again until one day you look back and realize you never really tried. And that thought, that's heavy. Heavier than failure. Heavier than rejection. Because failure at least means you showed up. Regret? That means you didn't. So let me ask you something. If nothing changed from today, if you stayed exactly where you are, would you be okay with that a year from now? 5 years? Or would something inside you feel off? Don't ignore that feeling. That's your truth. And this is where the real decision happens. Not in some big life event, but right here, in how you choose to show up tomorrow. Because the life you want, it's not built in one moment. It's built in small, consistent choices. Waking up and doing what you said you would do. Showing up even when it's inconvenient. Staying focused when distractions are easier. It's simple, but not easy. And that's why most people don't do it. But you're not most people. Not anymore. Because now you see it. You see the pattern. You see the cost of staying the same. You see the possibility of something bigger. And once you see it, you can't go back. Now here's the shift that changes everything. You stop asking, "Can I do this?" And you start asking, "Am I willing to become the person who does this?" Because that's the real question. Not about talent, not about luck, but about identity. Who are you choosing to be? The one who dreams, or the one who acts? The one who hesitates, or the one who moves? The one who plays safe, or the one who risks growth? And yeah, there's no perfect answer. There's just a choice, made daily, quietly, without anyone watching. And over time, that choice becomes your life. So if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Not some external validation, not some perfect opportunity, just this moment of clarity. You know what you want. You know what you've been avoiding. You know what needs to change. Now it's just about whether you act on it. And here's the final truth. Dreaming big isn't risky.
staying small is. Because staying small guarantees one thing: you'll never know what you are capable of. And that's a loss you can't get back. So start. Messy, imperfect, uncertain. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you move. Because every step you take, you're not just getting closer to your dream. You're becoming someone who can actually live it. And once that happens, everything changes. If this hit home, don't just scroll past it. Sit with it and start showing up like your future depends on it. Because it does.